Hello everyone, I'm Elizabeth Shaw and this channel is all about the Narcissistic personality disorder and ways to recover from narcissistic abuse. This video is about recovering from the trauma bonding. People often stay way longer than they ever should in an abusive relationship, myself included. It took me several attempts and a few years to get out and to stay out. And then once I was out, all hell broke loose and they came at me with another mind game after another. Due to the trauma bond, it is hard for those in these relationships to break free, and it is hard to stay free. However, plenty have, so it is more than possible. You can and you will. When you are not getting punched in the face, it's hard to see you're in an abusive, coercive, controlling relationship. Even when there is physical violence, it's usually twisted around onto you, or you've reacted in some way, reactive abuse. So the blame's then put onto you. You're left with all the self-doubt, blame and guilt, believing that you are the one at fault. You were never at fault. When you're being provoked and prodded and pushed with all your weaknesses and insecurities used against you, it pushes even the most kind people to their absolute limits of breaking point. Some people might just ask you, why didn't you leave sooner? Or remark, I'd have never put up with that. When they have not lived it, they do not understand it. The power of that trauma bond and emotional pull to the person who's actually causing you emotionally, physically, psychologically, and financial pain is a hard one to break free from. Those who've never been in an abusive relationship struggle to understand why people stay in one. Survivors are often also left struggling to explain why and what truly happened to them. When survivors connect with each other, it helps give each other more understanding. Knowing that you are far from alone in this, very few get out and stay out on the first attempt. It takes time to piece reality back together after all the gaslighting. It is a learning curve and it is more than possible to break free and to stay free. It takes an average of 7 attempts to break free of a toxic relationship. Some manage it before, some after, and how you feel is normal. Most of us have been conditioned from news and films that abusive relationships are always really physical, and although this does happen, it is not always the case. Psychological abuse is a lot harder to see, and as it's drip-fed over a period of time, it's an insidious form of mental torture. They break your heart, your spirit, your friendships, your physical health, your mental health, your financial health, and so much more. It takes time to recover and break free, and you are doing amazing. Living with a narcissist is like living in a war zone, never knowing when the bomb will go off next, not knowing what you did to set it off. You're running around a minefield, walking on eggshells, trying not to set them off and dodging bullets whenever you do. Narcissistic people have a great talent of love bombing and playing nice. With the odd cleverly formed underhand comment here and there, like, are you really going to wear that? If only you do this, or if only you hadn't have done that. Partners often brush these comments to one side, not realising the true reality of what's happening to them. Partners are made to believe that the real person is the one that plays nice and the bad person is so out of character, and it's something that they must have done to cause them act so out of character. A psychological, manipulative, abusive relationship is extremely addictive and causes trauma bonding. You're riding the roller coaster of your life and it just doesn't seem to stop long enough for you to get off. With the punishments of the silent treatment, then the projection and the blame shifting, the intermittent reinforcement when they play nice again as you've behaved for them, Your mind and body go through turmoil. It releases high levels of the stress hormone cortisol. When they're gaslighting you and giving you the silent treatments, and then high levels of dopamine when they reward you with affection for behaving how they want you to behave. The hormonal roller coaster takes its toll on our minds, our bodies. Most often people in these relationships end up plagued with illness after illness as they develop autoimmune problems, with their mind and body are just under constant stress. You've been hijacked and you're under siege, and they're constantly trying to keep power and control over you. People stay in these relationships despite the stress, due to their own mental and physical health, due to not having their own clarity on reality and seeing what's truly happening to them, through the gaslighting, the control, the projection and the self-blame. Desperation of trying to win back the abusive partner because they're not realising that they are the one that's abusing them and feeling like they're the one that's at fault, so constantly trying to up your own game to please them and win them back and do right by them. And when you do, you get that intermittent relief of love for a short time, a reinforcement that you were the one to blame. You were never to blame. You're a kind-hearted person who just loves people, cares about people and wants to help people. Ask yourself when you feel like you are to blame, what did they truly do in a good way for you? And what did you do for them in a good way? Most will realise the abuser didn't do that much other than hurt you, and that you actually did all you could to love, help and take care and please them, while slowly losing who you are. Narcissist psychopath and narcissist sociopath tend to follow the same relationship patterns of love bomb, devalue and discard. Some will hoover to suck you back in. So some signs that you are trauma bonded. Your partner always promises things and rarely delivers. You feel stuck in the relationship and cannot see a way out. You keep having the same fights and the same problems. Compromise is never met. It's always their way or you get punished. If you don't do something for them or you do something wrong, you get punished with the silent treatment and in other ways. You don't trust them or even like them, yet you still feel like you care and love them. If you do get out, you believe you still love them and are desperate to win them back. You feel sorry for them, can relate to their feelings and want to help them out. You make excuses up for their behaviour and treatment towards you. Not going against them for fear of reactions. Standing up for them when other people criticise them. Still wanting to help them and still wanting them to help you heal from all the pain that they have actually caused you. Unfortunately, some of us don't try to leave, often through fear or the threats that we receive from them. Those who do manage to leave often return. The abuser might break you so much that you are physically, emotionally and financially drained and they just discard you for someone new. Once they are gone, or once you do break free, you can begin to grieve the person who never truly existed. What you've been through, you can piece it back together with your own reality. Start to see it wasn't your fault and start to heal. You were not chosen because you were weak. They chose you because you had a greatness within you, a kind, loving, forgiving soul. Some ways to recover from trauma bonding. Grieve, write it all out and let it all out. Work through your emotions. Give yourself a limit, a day, a week, especially if you're struggling to get out of bed. Write them a letter explaining how they made you feel and then destroy it. Let it all out. Work through any guilt, your pride, your ego. Open up and be honest with your own feelings. Scream it out, cry it out, however, just get it all out. Connect with your emotions, recognizing what emotions you're feeling. My mind controls my emotions and I control my mind. What is the emotion I'm feeling? Acknowledge that it's there to tell you something. Remember a time you felt a similar emotion and you overcame it. So your mind knows you'll do this again. Don't bottle up your emotions. Take action to work through them. What is this telling me? What do I need to change? And then take action. Then when you take action, you need to work out what the emotion is, work out what it's trying to tell you, and then either change your perception, change your action, or change your communication, or change your direction. The emotion is there to tell you to change something. Pattern interrupt. When they pop into your mind, kick them straight back out. Focus on what you're doing at the moment. Call a friend, watch something funny. Acknowledge that you want to think about them at the start and tell yourself that you are not going to. You no longer have time for them living rent-free in your mind. You only have time to think of creating a new life and start thinking of new dreams until you've reprogrammed your subconscious so that they no longer just pop up into your mind without you even thinking about it, when they just appear out of nowhere. Now, this can be hard in the beginning because they can be in your mind 24/7. But once you consciously tell yourself that you do not want to think that way, you do not want to think about them, and once you consciously start thinking about something different and creating new routines and new patterns and new habits, you will kick them out. Now, this doesn't mean in future that they'll never ever pop into your head again. You shared part of your life with them. But your emotional pull and your triggers will not have the same effect. They might pop into your head and you'll be able to just kick them straight back out naturally. If you're wanting to check their social media, again, remind yourself and acknowledge that you want to, but remind yourself this hurts. Acknowledge you want to and tell yourself you're not going to, and try to focus on something else. Remove any reminders of them. If you have to communicate because you have children with them, set up a different email address or a second number so you don't have to look unless you need to. Respond, do not react, and save all communication in case you need it as evidence further down the line. When you do look at the emails, if they've sent something that triggers you, retreat, then rethink, and then respond. Any reminders you have that you can remove. Places you visited with them. Try to focus on times you visited without them to start, and then focus on when you're visiting those places in the present moment. If you are in the same home that you live together, look at moving or start decorating it to how you want it to be. It keeps you busy and changes the home. If you're in a refuge, focus on the new beginnings you're creating for you. Others have done this before you and you can do it too. Learn your triggers from the emotional upset and for anxiety so that you can learn coping strategies before they get a hold of you. When you feel them starting, tell yourself, I am safe now. Focus on good positive things. Focus on the future you're building for you. Start creating and living in your own reality again. Start writing down the bad things of the relationship. Whenever you start dreaming of what could have been or thinking they weren't that bad, look at the notes of what they did to you and how much they hurt you. Also, write yourself a letter of where you'd like to be 1 year from now. Creating new dreams and new visions for you, and then start taking simple steps to achieve. Creating new dreams for your future. It's baby steps all the way. You may have to crawl and then stumble, walk and run. You might take a step back now and again, and that's fine. That's normal. Just try and find your sense of humour, try and find the positives, and then get up and go again. Make one big decision, make one big choice at a time and take action on it. Once achieved, recognise that achievement within yourself. Be proud of yourself. Small achievements, if you're struggling with the day-to-day things like housework, set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes and just do the quick wins like wiping the kitchen side, putting the washing on. Focus on the task at hand. Don't let your mind drift into the past. Put some music on or a motivational video whilst you do it. And then do 15 minutes and 20 minutes and keep going until you set up new routines for you, for your life now, for your own day-to-day living standards and for how you want to live your life. Make choices that support your self-care. Choose to put yourself first, taking care of your own needs first, so you can be at your personal best for others. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to go for it. You're allowed to do what works for you. You're allowed 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You're allowed down moments. You're allowed to scream, shout and cry them out. Then you need to refocus on what your future is, what you're trying to achieve for you, and the progress that you've made so far, and keep going. Get addicted to something healthy that you love doing for you. Starting new courses, looking for new jobs, starting a job, starting new hobbies for you, going back to old hobbies that you really enjoyed and got stopped from doing. Learning, reading, connecting with others, especially those who've also lived it and understand it. Exercising, eating healthily, getting enough rest, volunteer somewhere. Whatever you want to do now for you, make it a positive contribution for you first and then a positive contribution for others, and get addicted to a new way of living in a much happier, positive life. Find the things that fill your human needs in a positive way. These are love and connection. So learn to love who you are and connect with your true inner self, and then find good, positive people to connect with. Growth, forming a new, happier life for you. Trying new things to see who you are and what you truly love doing for you. Learning new things every day. Certainty, creating new routines and habits for you. Uncertainty, trying new things that you think you'll enjoy. Significance, be kind on yourself first, then being kind to others. Having a job or a hobby that you love, volunteering. Contribution, to yourself first, raising yourself back up and then giving back to others and contributing to others and contributing to the right people. Knowing your boundaries and your standards and learning to say no. Anything you do through action or emotion, and you will become addicted if you hit 3 of these human needs. Finding something else that's positive to become addicted to. Tony Robbins explains a lot about human needs, and these are great for helping healing and recovery. Make choices now that put your own needs first. Say no to things that you haven't got time for or you don't want to do. Stop people pleasing others and start pleasing yourself first, but always being kind to others. Any setbacks, remind yourself just how far you have come and the direction that you're now heading in, and then go again. Find the funny side. A sense of humour is vital to get you away from all that negative and back into positive. Shift yourself out of the woe is me victim mindset, because whenever you're in the woe is me victim mindset, you will stay stuck in the woe is me victim lifestyle. You need to forgive yourself for what you've been through. You need to forgive yourself for what you've allowed yourself to put up with. And you need to remember that that is in the past. It was just a learning curve, and move on to the future. Take action on your new life. Focus on the new dream and new goals for you. Don't overload. Baby steps each and every day. Acknowledging your achievements along the way. Connect and surround yourself with good quality, positive people. It rubs off on you. Just like the negativity rubbed off on you, it's now time to find positive people. People who compromise, people who help each other out, people who are happy for you when you are happy, people who love you for who you are, people who respect you for who you are, people who are kind to others, people who are kind to themselves and then kind to others and lift people up, people who are willing to give and take. And sometimes it might be 50-50, sometimes it might be 80-20 and then 20-80. But those people who are willing to help you out as well as you helping them out, and focus on your new life. You can break free from this trauma bond. You can break free from your past, and you can move on to a much happier future. Thank you for listening. Bye.